Hi English user students, my name is Marisol and I'm here to explain you the first two lessons of Book 3. Let's start Lesson 1. Today we're going to talk about repeated events and actions in the past using used to or would. If we say that something used to happen, we're talking about repeated events and actions in the past. Usually things that happened a long time ago and are now finished. To express this, you can use used to or would. Used to can be used to talk about past states as well as past repeated actions and habits. But would is only used to talk about past habits. Would is not used to talk about past states. We can say, I used to live near the beach, but we can't say, I would live near the beach, as this is not a repeated action. We can say, I used to dislike onions, but now I love them. We can't use would again because liking or disliking are not repeated actions. Some other verbs that aren't accompanied by would are be, understand, like, love, know, sound, depend, remember, prefer. Listen carefully to the following examples. When I was young, I used to play with dolls. When I was young, I would play with dolls. I no longer play with dolls. Some other examples are, my wife would always give me a $500 certificate for my birthday. Robert would always come late to work on Saturdays. Did you used to play baseball when you were young? I didn't used to worry about money when I was younger. I used to believe in Santa Claus. When there is an auxiliary in the statement, used to turns into used to. So, you may be thinking if used to can be used with all verbs. Why should I worry about using would in some cases? Well, just keep in mind that would is even shorter if we use a contraction. I'd visit my grandparents every weekend. I used to visit my grandparents every weekend. So it is really common for native speakers to use it, and you need to be able to recognize it. You will practice the use of both expressions in Lesson 1. Now let's talk about how to sequence a story in Unit 2. Whenever you tell a story, you have to link ideas. One of the most important ways to link ideas is to sequence them using expressions like initially, to start with, first of all. First of all, nothing went as planned. The movie was at 7 p.m. and we missed the bus. We had to take a taxi to get there. You can continue the story with the following expressions. Then, after that, next, as soon as. Then, my friend called his cousin Alex and asked him for a ride. As soon as Alex arrived, we felt relieved and got into the car. You can add more elements to the story using expressions like unexpectedly or suddenly. Suddenly, a taxi hit Alex's car, so we had to stop and talk to the taxi driver. To finish a story, you can use phrases like in the end or finally. In the end, we watched a different movie that started at 8 p.m. To tell stories that happen to you, you will need to use different past tenses. Let me explain you the past continuous. The past continuous is formed by subject plus was or were, plus the ing form of the verb. Peter was taking a shower when the phone rang. Peter wasn't taking a shower when the phone rang. Was Peter taking a shower when the phone rang? The past continuous is used to show that an action in the past was interrupted. I was sleeping when the earthquake began. While we were riding our bikes, it started to rain. The past continuous is used when two actions are happening at the same time. Tom was setting the table while Clara was baking an apple pie. While Andrea was painting the house, but was repairing the sink. We can also use the past continuous to describe a series of actions that was happening simultaneously in order to describe an atmosphere. When I walked into the institute, some students were watching videos. Some were taking a written test, and other students were in the conversation club. When you talk about things happening in the past that were interrupted by another action, when is followed by a verb in the simple past. Tiffany was watching TV when Andrew called. While is followed by the past continuous, while Tiffany was watching TV, Andrew called. Having this in mind, you can go now and start with lessons 1 and 2. See you soon.